Welcome to the January 2024 Neighborhood Partnership Meeting. So tonight we'll be hearing from two different people, or two different presentations. The first one will be from Dave Webking from DPW.
So what's our goal for Public Works? What are we trying to do? Obviously, the safe passage for traffic throughout the city. We have main thoroughfares as well as residential streets, either by brining, salting, and or plowing. And I ask for patience. We try to get to all these areas as soon as we can, promise. So the main thoroughfares is the primary that we want to consider and we want to address. Types of weather considerations is the types of storms. So it could be flooding, rain, could be sleet, ice, snow. What if it starts at 7 a.m. and we get a heavy amount of snow? Then the decision process is, do we continue certain services, garbage, recycling? Because we need those staff members as well as equipment to address the streets at that time. So it's just kind of how we kind of do the decision process with the other management team members. When you have a longer duration storm, that means you have to look at various shifts and you cannot hit or treat throughout the city. So that means less people are there or available or fresh to do the plowing and salting. So salting during a snowstorm is just not efficient. So we usually wait towards the end of a snowstorm. Whatever we are planning and coordinating, we are trying to get this out on social media through the city's communications department to kind of give you an idea of what's being planned. It's kind of like all hands on deck. We have about 110 staffing employees. Of that, a majority of them are assigned to a piece of equipment and some type of route, whether it be a main, a residential, dead-end route, cul-de-sac, safety islands, sidewalks, what have you. So I ask for patience that during a storm, we do not want to exhaust all our labor while the storm is still occurring. Our primary objective is keeping the main thoroughfares available for emergency and traffic to go from point A to point B. So we will get calls saying, hey, you DPW, you went through the residential sections, you didn't clear entirely the street. One of the reasons could be, not all the time, we could be in error, is that we're just addressing the driving lanes until the storm subsides. Then we can get all the staff, the equipment, and then we'll go curb to curb. We always have to consider what other city services do we have to either postpone or delay due to the storm. So if we do a full plow operation, we usually have to postpone or delay those type of services, which could be electrical, forestry, but most importantly, the garbage and refuse. No vehicle can be parked on a street or municipal lot from the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. So how do you determine what side to park on? So today is a odd day. So parking vehicles before midnight, park on the side of the street that matches the current date. Snow emergency, I just want to say the main thoroughfares, when that's declared for that time frame, you cannot park on main thoroughfares. How many main thoroughfares do we have? Test question. 33. 140 miles we're trying to cover. So actually 280 miles. So if we do one pass each direction, these vehicles have to stop, go, work themselves around parked vehicles, and it takes time. Plow drivers, they're so good. We're excited. We got a lot of young, experienced individuals that are excited to see how they develop, but 40% of our plow drivers are 3 years or less. I do like to thank the police department for responding to our requests and also our public works staff. I just want to acknowledge them.
Captain Todd Clemente, who will be speaking about crime statistics and trends from October 1st, 2023 through December 31st of 2023.
So you can see we've got some elevation and things. Overall robberies did go up slightly. The bulk of them aren't. They are typically either known parties or they're business related. There's no real statistical or there's no, if you look at the map up there, you won't see like, well, they're clustered in one area. You know, your business robberies are typically on major thoroughfares or major roads so people can get away quickly. And really, most of you are just concerned of one thing. Are you safe in the city of West Allis? As you go out and about, if you go to the grocery store, if you go to a friend's house, if you're in your own home, are you safe? I went through the burglaries quite a bit down, and when you look at the residential, which is good, because residential meaning your home, your apartments, things of that nature. If you can secure your garage door, yes, people can still kick it in, and they will kick it in if they really want something in it. But if you do a better job of securing it, putting a deadbolt on it, locking it, making sure you're not leaving your car outside unlocked with the remote in it. Some people like to do that. They just click the remote, they open your car door, they click the remote, they go in. So try to make it more difficult for the guy who wants to steal your stuff out of your garage. If you're in your house, how often are you looking out your back window at your garage? You're not. So you have to be somewhat proactive to try to take care of yourself, take care of your property, lock it up appropriately, and make sure that you're doing the simple things you can to try to protect it the best you can. Pay attention to what's going on in your neighborhood. If you see something that looks suspicious, if you see the guy at 2 o'clock in the morning all dressed in black with his hoodie up prowling down the alley, call the police department. 2 o'clock in the morning, there's far more cops up and down alleys than there are actually residents that are going into their alley to sing, because they're typically at home. But the police officers know that that's where the people are going to be using, and they're going in and out alleys. They're driving up and down the streets, and they're looking at anything suspicious in those alleys. Aggravated assaults. And some of this, when I looked further into it, this is one of those categories that when we changed how we count things or how we stat things, making a change to charge-based statistics elevated them a little bit, I believe. Although the numbers look like, whoa, this is kind of dangerous. Once again, almost all of these, with the exception of a few, are somehow related to the people that they are either family with or are friends with. But as a general rule, you're safe in the city of West Allis. You can come and go as you please, and you're 99% of the time are not going to have any issues with people. Motor vehicle thefts, your best bet is to secure it the best you can. If you get a club, something that's visible, do that. Park in a location where it's well lit. That's always good. If you have a garage, by all means, clean it out and use it. There's far more on our east end than there are on our west end. Part of that is probably from the simple fact that the further west you get in our city, the more driveways there are. If I'm a thief, I'm probably not going to go walking up somebody's driveway to go steal their car. But if it's in an alley where there isn't anybody and nobody's watching, I'm more likely to try to grab that because I'm less likely to get caught. Good officer out there looking in alleys, paying attention to exactly what I just told you guys that you got to pay attention to, the alleys and what's going on behind you. He does that, and he ends up stopping 5 kids that get arrested, thankfully before they stole anybody's car. So I guarantee that had he not done that, we would have gotten reports the next day of, multiple cars that were stolen, because they were all ready to do it. The good thing is we got them before they did anything wrong, really. The bad thing is when you do that, you're also limiting what you can arrest them for, too, because they haven't yet done what they were going to do. So we prevented it, but there aren't any harsh consequences that people, I'd want justice, I want accountability. Well, the accountability came from the fact that they got a ticket or they had to go back to their house where they were missing from or a runaway from, but there's not like some jail time they're going to get there. They get a ticket. And lastly is our theft. But theft is one of those things, this encompasses a lot of different things, from shoplifting to theft from autos, so people breaking into a car or stealing somebody's change out of a car, to auto parts, so when people were cutting off the catalytic converters, stealing tires, rims, all those things. It's a wide variety of different things. Our biggest thing is we try to have the cops be as visible as possible. So they're out there making as many traffic stops and trying to engage with the community by making traffic stops. So the idea is if we're out there stopping people for whatever infraction it may be, we're stopping you, we could potentially be stopping you on the way to commit a theft or on the way back from a theft. And the reality is if you're a criminal and you know that if you come to West Allis, there's a higher probability that you're going to get stopped on your way in or out, are you going to come here? The answer is, I wouldn't. And the fact that our cops are out there being proactive, driving through alleys, stopping the 5 kids or trying to stop the 5 kids when they see them at 2 o'clock in the morning that look like they're up to no good, making those proactive stops, and in this case, making traffic stops. So we're always trying to be involved and be seen doing our job. Like I said, if you ever have a question about patrol-related stuff, just give me a call. I'll do what I can for you. I try to explain what I can, and be patient, because sometimes you're going to get the answer, I just can't fix that.